So recently, I completed all 39 developer time trials in Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, and they were a pain. However, as I did get through all of them, I thought I'd take this opportunity to rank all 39 of them from easiest to hardest. Now obviously this goes without saying, but this is my opinion. Some tracks that I had a difficult time with may not match those that someone else had a difficult time with, but this is how I fared on all of them. In the interest of time though, I am not going to explain why every single track is where it is. I'll only explain ones I felt have something notable about them. And yes, I know I'm 4 years late to this, but whatever. Anyway, we start off with number 39, Assembly Lane. This one took me one attempt, the only one attempt in the whole series. The dev time here is extremely fair, and it won't cause many issues for less experienced players. I would recommend this one for people who are just starting out with these trials, as the dev goes really quite wide here in a lot of places, which makes a great track to start with. Number 38, Inferno Island. Number 37, Meteor Gorge. 36, Engine Labs. 35, Dingo Canyon. 34, Coco Park. 33, Oxide Station. If you can hold Blue Fire here, then you're absolutely fine. The dev actually loses it right at the end, so you can stay a fair bit behind him and then just overtake him there. Number 32, Koala Carnival. 31, Cortex Castle. Genuinely thought this one would take forever, but I got it done in very few attempts. 30, Tiny Arena. 29, Gingerbread Joyride. Again, I was quite worried about this one, but as my time was only 0.3 of a second behind the devs, it wasn't too hard. My advice is that you don't need to go for the turbo pads, as you very quickly replace Sacred Fire for Blue Fire, and there are plenty of places where the dev goes quite wide and you just nip in front of him there. Number 28, Android Alley. Number 27, Jungle Boogie. 26, Barren Ruins. 25, Electron Avenue. 24, Blizzard Bluff. 23, Spyro Circuit. I'm really not the biggest fan of this track, but it was nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. 22, Mystery Caves. As long as you do the shortcut on lap 1 while keeping fire, then you should be fine as the dev doesn't take it then. 21, Puppy's Pyramid. 20, Nina's Nightmare. 19, Drive Through Danger. 18, Tiger Temple. The grass cut on this level is absolutely essential for beating this level. Unfortunately, I didn't know how to put it off when I started, so I had to learn it as I went. It honestly wasn't the worst thing in the world, but it is quite tricky. 17, Deep Sea Driving. Honestly, I think I fluked this. It only took a few tries, but I could see this one being an absolute nightmare. 16, Twilight Tour. 15, Prehistoric Playground. 14, Polar Pass. 13, Thunderstruck. This was actually the only level in the game which I had already previously beaten the developer's time on, as it isn't really the best. The shortcut on this isn't really necessary, but it is useful if you want to get a few seconds ahead. 12, Hyperspaceway. 11, Ruse Tubes. Surprisingly difficult as the dev doesn't actually make any mistakes, although they don't take the tighter cut at the end, and this actually ended up giving me the win. Eventually. 10, Sewer Speedway. 9, Clockwork Wumper. 8, Tiny Temple. 7, Hot Air Skyway. 6, Slide Coliseum. So now we're getting into the worst tracks. Most of these I left near the end because of how hard I knew they were going to be, and I was proved right. Also, see if you can spot a trend with these. 5, Crash Cove. Honestly, this one wasn't actually as bad as I thought it was going to be, as I've now beaten Williams' time multiple times, but just sticking to the rock was an absolute nightmare. 4, Out of Time. Williams' time on this track honestly isn't amazing, you just have to keep fire for the whole race, and you're good. The problem is keeping your bloody fire. 3, Megamix Mania. The hardest bonus track by far. My time was only 3 or 4 seconds slower than Williams, but those 3 or 4 seconds were extremely hard to make up, and you gotta hop over the dirt at the beginning past the windmills, which I have never done. So I had to learn that. The rest of the track wasn't too bad, but I just kept on messing up in stupid places. Number 2, Dragon Mines. Maybe surprised this isn't the number 1 spot, but honestly I was expecting it to be a whole lot worse than it actually was. Again, it was literally just not messing up and playing decently that I was struggling with on this one, as William doesn't really make any mistakes. And finally, number 1, the hardest track, Turbo Track. I hate this track. Actually, that's not entirely true. I don't mind it when I'm playing single races or online, but Jesus Christ, this is the biggest pain in the arse of the time trial. And before you ask, no, it wasn't the U-turny bit in the middle, it was just everything else. It also doesn't seem to help that the boost pads seem to give you about half a picosecond of reserves before sodding off. I know William goes pretty well in lap 3, but even that doesn't salvage what is an absolute shit show of a track. So there we have it, all 39 tracks ranked from easiest to hardest. Again, this is not an objective list, so you may have a completely different list to mine. As far as future content goes, that's what streams will be starting soon, so that'll be fun.